What's going on, everyone? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you so much to each and every single one of you for making this channel what it is. If you like what you see and you enjoy the content, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the summer. Also, comment in the comment section below and smash that like button. Also, don't forget to hit the bell to receive notifications. And if you're interested in helping to support the channel, I do have an eBay store, the Carolina Collector 001. A clickable link is in the description box below where I sell graded cards. I sell loose cards and every so often other random things. But primarily I sell a lot of baseball cards. So if you're interested in some of the cards I've either broke or ripped here on the channel or cards that I have had graded myself. As a matter of fact, just a side note here, SGC did receive my 20 card submission. The 2 Ken Griffies are included in that submission. And depending how things go, I'll let you guys know. But the link is in the description box below if you guys want to help support the channel so I can pick up more things like this to review and also pay the bills. I'd really appreciate it. With that being said, I had a blast opening up Prince Adam and Cringer, which are now proudly up on my shelf in my living room with my other stuff. But I tried to pick up as many of these from this particular set as I could. And I think I have all of them. I'm not sure. But what we're looking at here is the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection. And if you saw my review of Prince Adam and Cringer, I've got to say that it's spot on. These guys are just spot on, and I do have, like I said, quite a few figures from this toy line. So, and I will be reviewing them here on the channel, but you cannot deny how accurate these guys look. I mean, they pay a perfect homage to my childhood. And, I mean, look at this. The engineering on toys today is just absolutely incredible. So what we're going to do, we're going to free good old He-Man here from his plastic prison. And we're going to take a look at him. I know a lot of people get squirmish about this sort of thing, but it's mine. My toy, my money, my stuff. I can open it if I want to. Mine. Mine? 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 Now, from what I've heard, I do have off camera, which I'm going to show here in a little bit, the new for 20 Battle Cat. So apparently, the Origins figures and the new for 20 figures are supposed to be interchangeable. Like, I think you can swap heads and stuff like that. I couldn't find my He-Man, but I did find the Battle Cat. So I'll be breaking Battle Cat out of his plastic prison very shortly. So let's see here. We got 2 swords for He-Man. Get them out of there. Let's get that blister out of there too. I've got to say, compared to the previous iteration of this guy from the new for 20 or even Origins He-Man, this guy really knocks it out of the park. I mean, he looks the part. This is definitely He-Man incarnate. So he's a little stiff right out of the package. So he does have leg articulation that does move around, ankle swivel, shin swivel. Feet do tilt and bend in all sorts of different ways. Even though it's a little stiff, I exercise caution moving these parts right out of the box. See, that's cool. At least you get him to stand up straight. The old He-Man, you couldn't do that because he was in a forever crouch position. But with this guy, I mean, that's pretty remarkable. The toy engineering today is just amazing. Man, if I had this as a kid in elementary school, along with Missing Link 01 Optimus Prime, or Missing Link 02 Optimus Prime, I would be the king of the schoolyard. Just because the kids would want to mess around with this stuff. So, I mean, he really looks like He-Man. I mean, the similarities between this toy and the cartoon are just remarkable. So he's got his sheath right there for his power sword, which is exactly the same as the one that came with Prince Adam. This one, on the other hand, I don't know what this is all about, but not interested in that sword. We only care about what we see in the cartoon. Though, arguably, I haven't seen a cartoon in years, so if you guys recognize that sword, let me know in the comments section below. I am very much an 80s purist. Oh man, I've been watching videos of guys talking about Megatron Studio Series 86, by the way. Ooh, I got some comments about that I want to make, but not in this video. But anyway, I mean, he really, really looks the part. Let me pan the camera up here just a little bit. I don't have my workbench in its usual area because I've been having company coming in and out of here all week almost. So I've been a busy camper. I've been a busy 80s guy. You know, I'm very blessed to have the friends that I got. I've been having such a remarkable time with everybody. I mean, this dude is just, check this out. Can I do it? Can I do it? Oh, his head doesn't look up all the way. If there was only, if there was only just the slightest hint of wrist swivel, you can get him to look straight up and point the sword directly up. But I guess, like with Prince Adam, that's about as close as you're going to get. My copy is really loose. I'm going to have to get some furniture polish to stiffen his feet there. But, I mean, that epitomizes He-Man. I think that's the closest you're going to get to when he lifts his sword and says, you know, by the power of Grayskull. I mean, jeez. Yeah, he wants to fight me. Come on, He-Man. Come on, big guy. At least he's got feet swivel and leg swivel, where you can actually adjust his feet and legs, where you can get him to basically stand up on his own. But again, some parts I've noticed with the two or three figures I opened up so far, the parts are a little stiff in some areas and very loose in others. So just keep an eye out for that. But hey, that facial expression and him looking right at the sword, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And then if you want to kind of throw a little panache in there, you know, you can kind of have him doing like one of these combat stances, or you want to go back to like 80s He-Man crouching guy, you could do, let's see if I can get him to stand. There we go. You can get him to do something like that. He's very posable. I'm very happy. My God, because the ones from the 80s, even the commemorative edition, which I used to have, which were exact copies of the original figures, except that the feet were remolded, because if anybody knows, the old school He-Man action figures were not able to stand properly because their feet were molded all wonky and stuff. But yeah, he just poses really, really well. And like I said, from what I've seen here on YouTube with other content creators, apparently you can kit bash He-Man with a couple other different versions of He-Man. So, but like I said, I do have the new for 20 Battle Cat. So I'm going to free Battle Cat from his plastic prison and see what happens if you can get He-Man to sit on this guy. Now, unlike Cringer, Battle Cat here is highly, highly detailed. And you got to remember that Battle Cat is a roided up version of Cringer, of course. So, once again, to you climate change people out there, if you get offended by plastic blisters in your toys, remember the toys are plastic. So if you want to save the planet, go out and chop down a piece of wood, or play with a rock, or make a mud pie or something. You shouldn't be hypocrites. Don't be a hypocrite. Yeah, because I saw there's a couple content creators in the toy collecting space that have like this arrogance that they actually think, feel, and believe that they own the hobby. I guess it's like that with any kind of hobby where people think they actually own the damn thing. You know, it's like that with sports cards. It's like that with cosplay. It's like that with just about everything these days. Once these Crypt Keeper-handed leftists get their hands on anything, they ruin the fun. You know, and they keep playing games with my 1980s. You know, it's like, leave my 80s alone, little children. Daddy knows best. Even right out of the box, look at that Battle Cat. I didn't even have to pose him, and right up on his 2 feet, he landed. His 4 feet, excuse me. Don't cats land on their feet anyways when they jump most of the time? Just like Cringer, he's got the reverse joints, but this guy is not as articulate. I can see already his tail does move up and down, which is good. I don't think you would want him to be sitting down anyway. This is Battle Cat. We're going to take his helmet off, and there's the raw face. I guess they did that to hold his mask on. And I guess you could take the saddle off, but why would you want to do that? Get these plastic rubber bands off of here. So the mouth does open and close, so that's kind of neat. You just have to situate the mask properly, and it does sit. I would recommend keeping his mouth open. I think that just looks so awesome. All right, so from what I've seen, this He-Man should be able to sit on Battle Cat quite well. So here, you're getting a 2-for-1 special, folks. So we're going to sit down He-Man just like that. We're going to kind of get him to look like he's kneeling in, looking up, because that's probably how it would be. Let's see if I can... Now his little chainmail hair, or whatever you want to call it, keeps popping off. That might be something to keep an eye on, too. Especially if you're trying to put these guys in dynamic poses. Okay, I think that's... it's not in all the way, so I gotta really... again, I don't want to break it. It's going to be one of these. Here, you can see how poor the molding is, as a matter of fact, why it's not staying in place. So I can see I'm going to have to do something with this off camera. But I don't want to pull on this thing so tight that it breaks. So for right now, I'm not going to mess with this thing. I'll fiddle with that off camera. So that might be something to keep an eye on, folks. Just be careful. I mean, even like this, if you were to turn He-Man's head and turn Battle Cat's head, it kind of looks like he would in a cartoon, if you were watching this back in the 80s. I've got to say, this is a very good representation of He-Man and Battle Cat. Even though this Battle Cat isn't from this toy line, if you're able to find one of these, unless they release a Battle Cat for the cartoon series here, track down one of these Battle Cats here from the New for 20 line. It really works out. Let me see if I can just get him up here a little closer. Again, you have to forgive me. I'm not at my usual spot where I have my knockdown workbench. I actually got 2 big boxes of baseball cards. As a matter of fact, let me pan over there. Yeah, so there's all the stuff I got, for my card sales and for YouTube and stuff. So it's not exactly the most comfortable spot to be in where I'm sitting right now when I'm doing this. But yeah, I mean, you can't beat that. That is He-Man and Battle Cat. So if you're able to pick up one of these Battle Cats, it works really well with this guy. I mean, even though Battle Cat isn't as smooth as Cringer is, but you do see all the details and stuff like that. So you would have to look past that sort of thing to make this work. But to me, this is He-Man and Battle Cat. A proper He-Man and Battle Cat. And you can pretty much get his arm up in the air like that and say, "Let's go, Cat," But, yeah, this is, it's just amazing. This is such a homage to my childhood, but the technology to get a He-Man to be as a close a facsimile to what we saw in a cartoon as possible is just absolutely remarkable. I may put a little dab of glue on this because this is going to keep popping, and I really don't want to take a chance at this breaking. New toys. Jeez. I really don't want to break this. So, again, folks, right out of the package, be very careful with He-Man. Some of his parts may be loose or stiff or both. And just watch with his little chainmail here that he's got on his chest. But after that, I tell you what, the way he looks, the way he's able to pose, you can actually get him to stand up and look right at the sword. I wonder if you can even point this thing right at Cringer, because in the cartoon, that's what he did. Now, you can't really move his wrist like that. But you can get close. You could do something like that, I guess. So, and it looks like you can put the sword in both hands like he did when he says, "I have the power." I'm going to try that right now. As you can tell, I'm really nerding out with this. There are not many... See, again, this thing keeps popping off. I'm really worried about this thing. I'm really worried about his chainmail, that this is going to break. And I'm really avoiding... Or at least I don't want to put glue on this, but I'll figure something out. I really don't want to play with it because I know my luck. It was just like with Cringer's head, like it kept popping off. So that's the one thing about modern toys you really got to watch, is just that some of the QC issues are just like really wonky. Oh, you can get him in the pose, kind of, where he grabs the power sword and he pulls it up to himself. So I guess you could do that, kind of. He does have enough wrist swivel where you can actually kind of get him to do it. So if I remember in the cartoon, he would look something kind of like this. That's still not bad. It's still not bad. So I'm very happy I got these figures. They're really, really nice. It's just, again, watch out for some of these QC issues. Again, if you got some silicone paste or floor polish or whatever have you, you may either have to tighten or loosen some of these joints. I exercise caution right out of the box because already, as you can see, the molding on his chainmail here is just awful. So I might have to put a dab of glue on both of these just to keep it in place. But after that, I have no complaints. I mean, you know, when it comes to toys with ball joints and swivel joints, you kind of have to expect them to either be loose or tight right out of the box. That's just the nature of the hobby. You know, and for those who are my age, who grew up with this, and you're buying these for your kids, they're really in for a treat. They're really in for a treat. This is just so awesome with Battle Cat and He-Man here. But, of course, this is all about He-Man. Again, this Battle Cat was not part of this set, but from what I've seen, they're interchangeable with other toy lines. So, it just looks fantastic. That's He-Man right there. It looks great. He looks amazing. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this review video of He-Man and Battle Cat. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Until next time. And also, don't forget, I have the clickable link in the description box below if you want to help support the channel. I do have sports cards that I am selling. It really helps to go to pay the bills and for me to buy stuff like this to review for everyone. So, thank you, everybody. Take care. God bless. Stay safe. And I will see you soon.